you've come so far.
I know. I'm really growing up. From the days of Bondurant to Natty Ice to peanut butter whiskey.
From Natty Ice to a peanut butter whiskey. I mean, that
just growing. He's growing up.
If that wasn't a story of maturity,
if I don't deserve to be on this podcast for that, I don't know what else gives me the rights.
That's awesome.
The Goonsquad. All right, look at us. New digs, new peeps.
Love it.
It's been a while. We do apologize for that, but there's some things that changed a little bit, and but we're back. So cheers to that. Cheers to that to Drew. You guys will meet him later. Don't worry about that.
We here though. We here.
And my son Lincoln decided to jump on the mic.
Yep. Croy's gonna pop up in the corner here.
Yep. Probably.
If you see a little head bobbing around, don't be concerned.
It'll be all right. Well, hey. Well, everybody, as you know, host Stoy Hall with our co-host Colt Ingle and a special guest. We'll see how you guys feel about him. It's usually how this all works out. To get him
I
on
was
more
once a special guest.
You were.
So
yeah, for a few hours.
Big shoes to fill tonight.
That's right.
I mean, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't give him that.
I mean, for being 6'3", my feet aren't that big.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So tonight we'll do an introduction there with Drew, go through his background, his sports teams, all those fun things. We will hit upon the NFL draft. As you know, that just occurred. I believe Dallas won the hearts of everybody, at least.
I mean,
I don't know how you could.
They had a moment.
They had a moment, which is all they usually get.
I mean, that's better than some drafts. For them, so.
And then we got the Wells Fargo Championship this week as well. And guess what, fans? You will actually get to see our sheet for once.
Hey.
So here we are.
Moving on up.
Drew, we don't do any special like intro things.
All right.
Besides the fact that did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I put your pick.
And I'm going to have to get a picture of that
thumbnail.
Later. That is
little thumbnail pick there. So found it on Google.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
Sincerely made my day.
There you go. Good. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Drew McAnelly, the life and times. Grew up in Ingle, Iowa. Both my parents were teachers, and Dad was a coach, so I've grown up around sports my whole life. Football practice when I was 2 years old, they ran a reverse, and I got ran over. So it's been
explains a lot.
A knockdown, drag-out fight with me and the love of sports and the passion I have for it since age 2. Graduated from Indiana High School, played 3 years of college basketball, 1 year of college football, and been teaching and coaching now for 20 years. Married to my beautiful wife, Meredith, and my 2 amazing children, Zane and Zoe. Zane's 13, Zoe's 11, and been in the Ankeny School District now for 11 years and was a head girls basketball coach for 7, and I just resigned from that. And Mr. Ingle over there was fortunate enough to be my assistant.
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times, and we have some stories behind that some of you might get a kick out of. But for 3 years there at Ankeny, and so, yeah, I just resigned, getting out to enjoy watching my children play. You only get that small window of life once, and it's going to be gone before we know it, and I can always get back in. But, yeah, that's a little bit about me, and just really happy to be here tonight with these 2 amazing gentlemen. So let's rock and roll.
Did you play college sports?
Yeah, I played 3 years of basketball and 1 year of football.
What positions?
Quarterback and point guard. Yeah.
2 quarterbacks, 2 Iowa boys. This is just
I won't
the worst.
I won't give any ground on the quarterbacking position, but I will give props to Drew's basketball abilities.
All right.
Even at his old age.
Fair.
Yeah.
What about his fill it up a little bit?
What about his golfing abilities?
Solid.
Okay.
Consistent. Okay. Boring.
So old man.
Exactly
old man, bald
opposite
guy.
Of his personality. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Which is why I'm hoping he's a yes on the golf trip, because people I think will be, I've golfed with him just enough to be pleasantly surprised. He's just steady Eddie, man.
Yeah.
Just get it out there.
Golf trip. Hearing some of what happened last year, we will be bringing camera though for the pod. We have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to
for the brand.
Not to mention we have 3 extra cameras, so if it breaks,
it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, whoops, but we're bringing that. So Sports teams. You got to let everyone know.
Growing up in Iowa,
because it's going to make me physically ill.
I bleed black and gold. I'm a diehard Hawkeye fan. And then NBA, I grew up a Michael guy, so Bulls. And for a basketball guy, I'm not the hugest of NBA fans, but I'm a Bulls fan still. And NFL, New England Patriots. I would say I'm a very mild baseball guy, but I do root for the St. Louis Cardinals. So I'm kind of all over the place a little bit there. But I am outside of golf and my family and sports, my true hobby and passion in life are my Iowa Hawkeyes, and Cole can probably
And we've already done better in this episode than we have in the last year on hitting these right on cue.
Yeah.
It's like our production skills got better after a little break.
Just a little break.
Either that or Drew just brings the best out.
I think it's more like, it's like, I feel like we just have been in it against each other for so long that someone else we can just attack.
I love.
Well, that's great.
Man.
I am so happy to have another Hawkeye on the show. That just makes my day, especially
perspective.
When it is, and every time that the Huskers end up beating them at the end of the season, doesn't matter what sport, it makes it fun to talk about. And I'm not even a huge Huskers fan. It's just very easy to talk about.
But you don't have a lot to talk about because it doesn't happen.
It just happened last season. I mean, football and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, recency bias, but he's not wrong.
No, absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's two games the Hawks had no business losing.
And I will attest to that.
Yeah.
But,
so we'll get it. We'll dive into that.
Don't let him fool you into thinking that he's a Huskers fan. That's the first time he's ever said anything positive about the Huskers, and
it's not there. It's just not.
All the time I've known him.
It's not there. All right, well, let's get into the little NBA. Jesus.
NBA. I mean, we can.
I've never said NBA on the show, and now you say it, and that's all I can freaking say.
We're gonna start. We're not starting with.
No, we're gonna start with NFL draft.
You going straight into the draft?
Yeah, might as well. Finish with golf. We don't have any golf recap.
I mean, Tony Finau won.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have any bets.
No,
shout him out then. Shout him out. Go ahead.
I'm going to shout him out real quick, obviously, because he's our guy.
Right.
He's my guy.
Absolutely.
And in golf pool, I chose him as the outright winner this week.
Oh, you did?
So that was my first outright winner in 2 years, and I hit him. He plays great outside of the United States. So as soon as I saw, he's been playing well, we've got Mexico tournament, a little less field, ran the table, outright winner, boom. Unfortunately, 9 other guys picked him as well, but hey,
you still won.
Got to start somewhere. So I got to start climbing back up the leaderboard a little bit on that. So great win for him. The whole family was there. Awesome to see. So I got the picture with him, wife, 5 kids.
Best part was afterwards.
So every day after he played, he went and played the par 3 course with his oldest son, Trace, who's on the junior PGA. But then the last day after winning, so after 4 days of playing and then playing the par 3 and then winning, he went out with all 5 kids and his wife, and they played another round on the par 3.
Pretty cool.
The dude is just, he's a machine when it comes to, golf, but then just flips it immediately to the family time. And
5 kids.
Yeah.
5.
And the oldest one, I think, is 12, maybe 13.
I got 2. I'm good.
He's got between 2 and 13 right now.
Between the 3 of us, we have 6, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. That's enough.
Yeah.
If we made as much money as him, though, it'd be a lot. We could hire out some.
Yeah, you're right.
But
still,
it would be nice if we could afford and enjoy traveling with 5 children.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard on the broadcast that when they traveled to Mexico, it was 22 pieces of luggage. And my guess is that was on a private jet. Or maybe the luggage had a jet and then he had a jet. Would be my guess.
He had his bag and his clubs. That was it.
So, but yeah, that's
good out of you, Tony.
Something that they've started to do more is travel as a whole family. The documentary Full Swing kind of highlighted that. For anyone that saw that on Netflix, he talked about that being an important thing. Once his wife's dad passed away, they started doing that more. So usually when he wins, he's got the family there. So that's always a cool experience. And obviously he's just known as one of the great guys on tour. So just continues to show that.
Yeah.
But NFL draft. I mean, do you want to start with like an overall like
Feel.
synopsis, or do you want to dive right into what the hell the Falcons were doing at 8?
We don't need to dive into. I mean, we will have time to talk about that. Can we?
I don't know if Drew knew you were a Falcons fan or not, but I just wanted him to be aware so he could prepare some material to spat back at you.
Well, the bitterness in his voice between Falcons and Huskers, I can understand where. He's
just makes
feeling
sense, right?
Yeah, and
I mean, it's like it was 28-3 all over again.
yeah. So I'm sure Stoy just about threw up in his mouth when he heard me say New England.
Yes,
just
he
brought
did.
back
He actually
haunted and
Replay
dreaded,
it because I did.
dreaded memories.
Hey, do you not know the security code?
I don't. Usually just pops up and lets me push a button.
So overall feeling on the draft, I thought it was a fun draft. I thought there were a couple of surprises, a couple good surprises, couple of head shakers. Definitely some really good talent that dropped into the second round, and some teams just with some head scratching decisions from a personnel standpoint, whether it be first and second or throughout the draft, and a couple of teams that I think just absolutely killed it in the draft and weren't necessarily in position to do so, and just made the right decisions when players dropped to them. So I guess I'll start. I think that the Eagles, who are the best team in the NFC, probably had a top 3 draft. They had 2 guys drop to them. I believe were they both Georgia?
Yep.
Guys. And the draft picks that they had received from, who did they have draft picks from? Was it from the Rams? Is that right?
I think you're correct.
In that trade?
Yeah.
But they took full advantage. I mean, a couple of guys just dropped, and they solidified their D-line. They didn't have a lot of holes to fill anyway. And at the time that they drafted, they absolutely, in my opinion, stole guys off the board that were both potential top 10 picks, and they ended up with 2 of them in one round, being the team that was the second best team in the NFL. Yeah. So that was crazy to me. I don't think that there was necessarily a ton of flash in a lot, but the Texans did flash at the beginning of the draft, trading up to get the 3rd pick after taking C.J. Stroud second, which I've got my own feelings on Stroud, but I think they got their guy, and then they went and got the next best player in the draft as well. So I was really impressed with how aggressive they were and thought they got some really good value early. And then also just had a solid draft overall. So those were the kind of the top 2 that popped for me. There were some other really solid drafts in there. The 2 worst for me, I thought the Packers had a questionable draft. I'm interested to hear how you felt about the Patriots draft. Belichick's always a head scratcher to me when it comes to the draft. It's hard to question him. I just thought they needed some more offensive help and didn't go after it. Packers kind of did the same thing. So that's kind of where
do the Packers ever really
I was at overall on that
draft well though?
But I didn't love what the Falcons did either. I didn't think that you got help
what was
early
interesting
enough for your quarterback.
What I found interesting with the Patriots draft is we know that Bill can take any defensive guy, free agent, undrafted, whatever it may be, and he's going to mold that guy into a really good player within the system. But with the coaching changes they've had, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, hell, they tried to have a defensive coordinator calling plays, and we saw how well that worked. And
exactly how well you'd expect it to.
Exactly. And sometimes I love the guy to death, but sometimes his stubborn arrogance can maybe get in the way, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So what was interesting to me within the draft was he can develop talent, obviously, on the defensive side. So let's go attack the offensive side of the ball, and they just seemed to to not go that route, and that's where we really struggled because last year we had a defense that could have made a 2 or 3 game run within the playoffs. Not good enough to get the Super Bowl or win it by any stretch, but the defense was very, very good. Maybe not true blue old school Patriots, but good. But the offense just struggled, just mightily struggled from all aspects. And that was what was really surprising to me with the Patriots draft.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel like they addressed helping out Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, whichever one they decide to go with. I think Mac Jones is the guy there, but I just don't like they didn't get him any protection and they didn't give him any weapons.
Nope.
So that was disappointing, to me if you're a Patriots fan. And then I just kind of felt the same way with the Packers. Everybody thought that they were going to kind of spit in Aaron Rodgers' face and actually draft a skill guy. And then they come out and draft 2 defensive guys right away. I think they drafted 2 tight ends, and
I don't know. I just don't understand. They never do the right thing.
Yeah.
They always seem to do the ass backwards thing. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
But then they're never terrible, which is also surprising. But I'm interested to see they did sign Jordan Love to a 1-year extension worth $13 million, which good on him. I mean, that's not terrible money for Green Bay to spend. And I also think Jordan Love needed to get a little bit of something. So we'll see how that experiment works out.
It'll be an interesting one. That division is going to be. I've got the Lions early. Early where we're at. I like the Lions.
I second that notion.
So
because if you look at Minnesota last year, a fabulous year, and typical Minnesota fashion, they choke in the playoffs. But if you go back and look,
like the Cowboys,
if you go back and look at their games, they could have. For 4, 5, 6 of those close wins, they could have easily lost. So their record was a little skewed.
Vastly skewed.
That can quickly flip in a matter of a season.
Absolutely.
Your thoughts on the draft?
I thought it was a fun start to the draft overall. There were some splashes early on, but I thought most teams, again, except for the teams that I'm harping on, didn't really make the picks I thought they would or should actually, in my opinion. But also, I'm not a huge draft guy when it comes to it because, one, we've had good players and that we don't utilize them. So there's one. But 2, you don't know what you don't know until they get on the field. So let's caveat that. But that being said, I thought it was overall just it was like a meh draft, and specifically for my Falcons.
Well, you took a running back number 8. Let's just jump into that.
First of all, we're not talking about him as an athlete. Okay,
no,
the best running back coming out of college.
Absolutely,
okay?
Nobody disagrees that Bijan Robinson wasn't the best.
I don't understand 8 for this. Well, for a multitude of reasons. One, running backs that high don't make any sense. Now we are a running team. However, we had a rookie go for over 1,000. We have Cordell Patterson, which again, so to have those 2, then you throw him in. What are we doing? Where we could have spent that somewhere else.
Yeah,
in my opinion, O-line is a big deal. We obviously have tight ends. Our receivers we have one. I just felt like we should have put more into that core. Now, am I upset that we got a potential back that can be here and be here for the next 6-8 years and is our dude? No, but you don't put an 8 on a running back. You just don't.
Now, did you mention O-line?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's connect Patriots and Falcons, and not to bring back horrible memories for you, Stoy, but
they were delicious memories. It was fun.
Tommy didn't have tons of weapons around him at times either. People forget how unbelievably good the Patriots' offensive line was during that run. And that gets so overshadowed in so many organizations. And so you take a look at the Falcons at 8, and you go with what I call a dime a dozen position in the NFL, and you aren't going to go address offensive line needs. When you look at teams that have won the Super Bowl the last 5 to 7 years, how good their offensive lines have been and how many draft picks they've taken in the first round with offensive line play. I mean, where's your research at right there?
Well, you look why the Chiefs lost a Super Bowl
and why they won.
Why the Eagles were able to get to a Super Bowl, and then why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's all, I mean, you obviously have to have other pieces, but the Chiefs lost because Tampa Bay just was living in the backfield the year before. They addressed.
What, buddy? Can you get him out? Yeah. Okay. All right.
They addressed the issue.
Yep.
And therefore, I mean, it's just sometimes I think everything. There's too many guys in the room.
Oh,
I mean, we see it on draft night. You see draft room, and there's 24 dudes in there. And it's like, at the end of the day, not everyone's agreeing, and that's not a bad thing. But why not 4 guys? Why not 6? There's just, I think at some point where you just lose a voice of, hey, what the hell do we need?
Yeah,
let's go fix that.
I also don't understand. They've game planned this whole thing out. They've had to have.
Oh, right.
Almost every scenario, right?
It's their livelihood.
They've been through this. Yeah. There should be no surprise. There's rare that a trade surprises everybody. That all of a sudden the whole draft is, oh Lord, what do we do? That doesn't happen, and it didn't happen this go around. So either they couldn't trade back at all. No one wanted to, which I was hoping someone would. Maybe that didn't occur.
Right.
And you go best player available. Okay, that would be my only thought process there. But we did go tackle from Syracuse in the second round, Bergeron, which I actually really do like that pick. I love our 2 through 7s.
Yeah.
From a value perspective, I love the shit out of it. It's just one. I would have liked more picks.
Right. I mean, I think the same thing with the Lions too.
Money.
And one's taking big money.
Yeah, because the Lions did the same thing, maybe even to a worse level. They had the 12th pick, and they took. I mean, in their opinion, it was the best line or the best running back, but in a lot of people's opinion, 3rd or 4th best running back at pick 12.
12.
And then they also had, was it 18?
Yeah,
Jack Campbell. And he went high, but at least he is a day 1 starter.
Right.
And a 10 to 12 year, just a dude.
And can change your defense like that.
Yeah. Right. That's a leader. That's a day 1 starter. I can, if that's your guy, that's your guy. That's fine. He's a Dan Campbell guy. I can imagine.
He's more than a linebacker.
Right.
He is a organizational, foundational blueprint.
Where's a great number too. Right. Fantastic number.
Yeah.
It's the best number in the game.
Best number in the game.
You think
is that? Now, did I hear speculation on the Drake campus that's pending maybe retirement?
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't tell nobody.
That's what I heard.
Tell nobody.
Brian Harden, I'd heard that.
And it wasn't because I stole all the jerseys.
No.
It was not.
I've heard
it's
Brian
Harden jersey.
Yeah. Brian Harden is under negotiations with retiring number 31.
Yeah. Nil late,
little late. But hey, we'll take it.
Late than never, as you said, right?
No, but but you're right now. That being said, the game is changing to running backs. We're running the ball more. Yeah. So are they early in this new wave? We won't know that for a while, but
I don't think it even matters if you're early in the new wave. You just can't reach for a running back, even if he's really good. Look at Saquon.
How many games? How
many games he missed?
What is the percentage of his games played versus missed in the years?
Look at Zeke now. Zeke's not even on a team right now.
Right.
Yeah. And he had his. Yes, Pollard took over, but he had his best year last year he's had in 3 years.
Yeah.
Why? Because he didn't have as many carries.
Correct.
He's not as beat up.
Correct.
Which is why you don't need to use an 8.
And your running game was not the problem. The Falcons' running game was the last thing that needed addressed.
Right, exactly.
Of everything. We could have addressed 6 different things, and running
back was not it.
Your running back was 1,000 yard. You had 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, as a rookie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this sarcastically because I don't know, but when was your last winning season?
2017, 18. We went to the playoffs and lost to the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess you have had offensive line issues.
Mm-hmm. Except for last year, actually, surprisingly.
Actually, you've been bad on defense.
Defense has been atrocious. But now we got Calais Campbell. Boys. D-line looks
Your defense was better last year, though.
And the defense was better last year.
Yeah. No, defense was not the issue last year.
No, we had a quarterback issue.
But now you got a running back.
But hey, we have 3 running backs.
You're
ate up
3-headed
a lot
monster
of money.
at running back. You're just Patriots light.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Except the Patriots don't spend money on running backs.
They don't spend money.
No,
general.
But they get players.
Do we have the Twitter video of Deuce Vaughn getting drafted?
If you put it in our chitty chat.
I just didn't know if we had access.
Oh, we have access.
I did. I might have put it in there twice, actually, even. You got to see the alligator video. That's phenomenal. All right, so this is.
Hey, it's going good. This is.
Yeah, Stoy alluded to this.
Go ahead, talk through it.
So this
and
is
I'll
Deuce
play
Vaughn's dad calling to tell his son that the Cowboys have drafted him, and just the emotion surrounding it. Deuce Vaughn, which I love the pickup. That guy's just a workhorse at Kansas State, kind of a scat back type.
Who'd you compare him to?
Sproles.
Sproles. Okay.
I mean, same. He's a little bit bigger, not quite as twitchy.
Shifty, yeah.
But same type and just a grinder guy that's going to make the squad. Going to be either the number 2 or 3. And the Cowboys use running backs in different ways. So I just think a great pick, especially late in the draft. And dad's on staff, so you can see here.
Oh, okay.
Let's let this run for the next minute and a half.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look here, man. You want to come to work with me next week? I wouldn't mind that. I got somebody want to speak to you.
Listen, I don't know when I've been speaking for everybody that's really in the heart of the Dallas Cowboys is standing here with a tear in our eye. We're so happy to have you on the Dallas Cowboys.
I can't thank you enough.
Well, what I really want to say, you earned every ounce of me being able to make this call. I'm so excited. There's just something magical about this moment that may be bigger than we even realize here talking to you on the phone. But you is now a Dallas Cowboy. Your daddy just handed the card in. Right here.
Yes, sir.
It's got him on it. Congratulations.
Hey, Deuce, Mike McCarthy, congrats.
Tear in our eye.
No one wants to listen to Mike McCarthy at all, ever.
So I'll start because Jerry Jones.
The guy in the background.
I got
That guy?
chills.
Is that what's his name?
No, that's his son. It's Stephen Jones's son.
Yeah.
So it's like that would be Jerry Jones's grandkid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But Jerry Jones is obviously a very polarizing figure, a guy that I have wished multiple times throughout my Cowboy fandom was no longer the owner of the Cowboys, or at least relinquished some of the player responsibility, GM responsibility. That's one of the most respectable moments that I've experienced of Jerry Jones in my, now 29 years of Cowboy fandom, 30 years of Cowboy fandom probably. Awesome moment for his dad, obviously. And then, the guy's just going to put in work and do everything he can for the organization. So it was just a really cool to see one of the awesome draft moments this year.
Yeah. Hands down. The other one would have been, we didn't have it in there, but with the Steelers going with Porter Jr.
Oh,
It's very similar.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not on the staff, but a very similar feel. And those two things just got you chills. Also made me feel old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm younger than both of you, but both of those made me feel old.
Yeah.
Just going to say that.
When we watch their dads in their prime.
In their prime. And
it's happening more and more these days.
It sure
in all
is.
The sports.
It sure is.
Where dad's gone and here comes son. I mean, baseball's been that way for a couple years now with more than a handful of guys.
It's great. It's great to see.
So
great to see.
It just shows you a little bit about pedigree as well.
Yeah.
Pedigree matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, there were cool moments of the draft. Had you seen that video before then?
I had not.
I gotcha.
And that was really touching. Don't the Porters have a special needs child? Did I see a video of that? Or they have donated some money?
Could be.
I caught the tail end of it.
Okay.
It was really cool, but I don't know the details.
Gotcha.
That might be something we
look into.
Google. Yeah.
Google machine. No, very good. That how was supper? Good. Crab cakes.
You got your brother fed?
Oh, and he brought one hiccup.
Yep, one hiccup.
Who hiccups once? That's impressive.
I don't know.
All right. No, so that's NFL draft. Any final thoughts? Did we cover everything we wanted to cover with it?
Yeah, I mean, draft's draft, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, you talk about your teams and things that happen, but this one there wasn't.
Let's talk. I want to talk quarterbacks a little bit more with within overall. So let's quickly talk where quarterbacks went in the draft, just because obviously that's what dominates the league. So you had quarterbacks going 1 and 2. Do you think Bryce Young was the best quarterback in the draft?
No.
If you had the number 1 pick, who would you have drafted? Quarterback. You had to draft a quarterback. Let's make it a little bit easier.
Give me the top 5 that went, or top 3 that
So it
went.
would be Young, Stroud, and then Richardson, and then you had Levis and Hooker both dropped. Those were the top 5 taken.
I mean, if you have to, I mean, if you have to, you got to go Young, only for the simple fact of their offense translates better, way better. In the history of Alabama quarterbacks is a lot better than the history of Ohio State quarterbacks.
Yep.
I don't like it, per se, but if you're if you have to, you have to.
If you had the number 1 overall pick as the Panthers, would you have taken a quarterback, period?
Well, seeing how they traded before to get the number 1 pick to do it, they already played their cards.
Yeah.
If they were already the number 1, I would have traded down.
Right.
Because you could have went down to 3, 4.
Yeah. No,
You would have lost out on either Stroud or Young, but you could one of them at 3 or 4. You're not, and then you pick up an extra pick. Like that would have been my play. Right. But they already traded to get him, so they knew what they were wanting.
What are your thoughts on?
And I'm okay with that.
Before I get Drew's thoughts, what are your thoughts on success of top 5 quarterbacks drafted? Is there any one of them that you think has a 5+ years starting future?
Ooh. 5+ years starting future.
So they're going to make it to whatever their big deal. Any of those guys?
Ooh, that's tough.
I mean, I have my opinion on the quarterbacks in this draft, and it's not good.
That's a really tough fight. I don't know if I have that. I can't say they will. I think the person who will be, like, of the 5 that'll be around, I mean, they're all going to be around.
Right.
But that has I believe, the best upside to be around just playing is probably Richardson.
Okay.
Because he can they can use him different ways.
All right.
Otherwise, I didn't like Will. We had a whole segment about Will Levi's.
Yeah.
And seeing him fall was not a shock by any means to me. Hooker's injury, that would be kind of where you're at with that one. I'm not a Stroud guy, and I think Young's too small.
Okay. So you think injuries for him? You think that'll be the downfall for him?
Yeah, and injuries in the short quarterback syndrome that we see with Mayfield, we've seen with Murray, like he's just small.
Tua's getting banged up.
Yep.
Yeah, like he's just small.
Yep.
And like short. He is short. So
well, I mean, he weighs 180 pounds too.
So I don't see that.
Drew, thoughts overall?
I like Will Levis.
How?
He's a man.
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
I like him. I like his game. I like his demeanor. I love his arrogance.
He also likes that he got drafted by a former Patriots coach.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
There it is.
Do you think he starts this year?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think the guy
like right away or
mid-season.
Mid-season.
I think the best thing that happened to that dude was falling, and now the dude's got a chip on his shoulder.
He does remind me of our backup quarterback, Tyler Heineke, though. He's got that aura.
I like
play for him.
Okay.
I just
side note.
Do you like him better than any of the other quarterbacks in the draft?
I don't like any of the quarterbacks in the draft.
So we're all kind of on the same page.
I think it's a horrible quarterback draft.
Yeah. I think it was. I don't know if I feel that it's a horrible draft or if I just think that solid quarterbacks were extremely overhyped.
Well, we went. Okay, so let's back up to last season, right? We were saying that draft class from a quarterback position, everyone was playing like, do you pick one because you've got this strong class?
Right.
Yeah. We went with Ritter, which I'm actually happy with. Now I look at these quarterbacks. You then get to this now, and now you're like,
Yeah,
it's not as strong.
But I think
Stoy,
we're
I'm gonna
next year.
piggyback to something Stoy said though early in the podcast was dealing with the draft. Is we could sit here for hours upon hours and talk.
Right.
You don't know until we get these guys on the field.
Right.
You don't know how they're going to react to different situations. We don't know how they're going to handle the media, the pressure, the hype. Oh, does the system truly fit their skill set?
Right. Especially
Do they have
quarterback.
injuries around them? What's the O-line play? There are so many variables that go into
But
this.
who do you think got put into the best situation then?
I think Will Levis.
You like? I mean, you like where
yes,
him
I do.
dropping
Yep,
and
I
quarterbacks
do.
dropping like that. Definitely,
There's been some success stories of
yeah,
that.
Him and-
absolutely.
I would say him and Hooker have the better situations.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker was my favorite quarterback going into this draft.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the injury, anything like that. I think that dude has moxie.
Yep.
And now dropping to the second round, I think he went to a good place where he's not forced to play right away.
Yep.
And
How'd that work for Aaron Rodgers?
right, I just think that I just
All the greats,
love,
basically.
Yeah.
I love that guy's
Tommy
upside.
didn't play right away.
Because I wasn't going to be surprised if somebody jumped in top 15 to grab him, and they didn't because of the injury, and that is what it is. But I don't think Anthony Richardson is an NFL quarterback. You and I are going to disagree. I understand what you're saying as far as him being multiple. I don't think that he can ever, unless he can overcome accuracy issues, a la Josh Allen. And somewhat Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's accuracy issues are overblown. He just has accuracy issues in big games, not necessarily overall.
Right.
Josh Allen has battled them from college, got way better, has kind of regressed.
last season.
Here's a guy I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
Of those first 2 or 3 quarterbacks drafted, do you think their skill set and their physicality is better than Jameis Winston?
I just didn't like Winston from a maturity standpoint.
Okay.
Same reason way back when I didn't like Jamarcus Russell. Like you go back and like Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield, like
Actually, yeah, like
he wasn't terrible, but still like the mindset.
Baker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The mindset has not set them up for long-term success,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to look at. Is like Bryce Young is in the right mindset with a Panthers team who will kick, scratch, claw for every victory. They remind me of the Lions.
Yeah.
So like he's going to go into a situation where we don't care if our backs are against the wall. We traded everyone that was good on our team away last year
and still won.
Still find a way to compete.
Yeah.
And so like that's why I don't mind that situation. The Texans at 2 I think are a mess, and I don't
They're
like
a mess.
Stroud being put into that situation. I think Mills has done a
Right.
I think he's a lifetime backup, unfortunately for him
Yeah.
because of the situation.
I honestly think C.J. Stroud's the worst quarterback in the draft.
Yeah,
Personally.
I
That's
don't-
my personal opinion.
I felt the same way with Mills. Like, why you have Mills? Mills
So,
is
young-
a solid average quarterback,
Right.
So you can build everything else up, and they don't have anything.
Many people disagree with that comment. That's just my personal opinion.
People love how
Has
he
that
played.
anything to do with the Big Ten?
No.
Okay.
No,
Because
but if you
being a
watch them
diehard
against-
Hawkeye, I don't feel hate towards
Yeah, but-
Ohio State because they're an elite
But if
class.
you
But he had a
watch
good
CJ
he had a good game in the Big Lights
against
Yeah,
Georgia,
yeah.
right?
That's
but
why.
like that's
Yeah.
the problem
because
is
he was not good all season.
if
No.
you watched him against
The Iowa
Indiana
defense.
Oh, it was
or Iowa,
horrible.
or
Iowa
anything
actually,
like,
he had a horrible game against
he was so
Iowa.
pedestrian.
Yeah.
He was like that most of the
And
season.
just because granted,
His red zone production this year was
not good. And you have to know who these guys are playing with. Bryce Young is playing with a set of the best linemen and the best receivers at the level of football he played, and now is going into the NFL. C.J. Stroud, same thing.
Yep.
He might be playing with the 3 best receivers in the entire draft.
Maybe
And Marvin Harrison didn't even get drafted because he wasn't eligible.
right.
His best receiver is still
maybe the top
in-
3
at
receivers
Ohio
on
State.
one team in the last 15, 20 years of college
Correct.
football.
Yes.
I mean,
That's comparable to the LSU
yeah.
trio that was there with Burrow. But
That was stacked.
so like absolutely you have to perform, but like there were too many times in games that
He
are
just
kind of off the radar or whatever that
He just didn't.
he just didn't really show up, and the talent of his team overcame him playing bad.
And guess what? In the league, there's no game off the radar.
Correct.
No.
There's no game.
Correct.
You have 16 games. They're all on the radar.
So
17.
We'll
17. My bad. Yes.
I think we're all in agreement on that then. So that's good conversation. We'll see kind of where guys end up and what happens. But let's talk quarterback signings, because we've got a lot of guys who signed big contracts. We got Aaron Rodgers, who finally got signed in New York and actually showed up to minicamp.
For the first time in
a whole bunch of Packers fans throwing up and throwing stuff at their TVs as they watch him take a snap in May for the first time in, 10 years?
At least a decade. Has to be.
So, and then you have Lamar Jackson finally got paid. Jalen Hurts got paid. And, you've got guys settling in. You got Jordan Love, who got a little bit of an extension with Green Bay.
Baker went to Tampa Bay.
Yep. So just
that one's going to be interesting. That one.
See, so you don't know this, but so Baker Mayfield married Emily Wilkinson was her name then, but I grew her family partially raised me.
Okay.
So I'm very close. So I have a little bit of thing. I want Baker to do well, except for now, and I will not apologize about that because he's on the Bucs.
Yeah.
But I do like the situation he's put into for the Bucs.
I'm actually a Baker guy. I like Baker. I don't mind Baker at all.
He likes Baker and Will Levis. That's all.
If you can tell, I like guys that have a little chip on their shoulder and a little
white guys
arrogance.
with a little moxie.
Little moxie. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. But no, there's some good signings. The
Rodgers in New York. Thoughts? 2 sentences.
The media.
No clue.
No clue. 2 words. That's 2 words. I like it.
It's the Jets.
Yeah.
I know they're getting better. I know they played well, but there is something about
guaranteed playoffs.
No.
Yes.
I say yes.
Yes.
I will put a shitty shot on it.
Yes.
Well, how do you? It's like a guarantee
gonna be one of the
though.
top.
Like how do it? Like
I'm guaranteeing that the Jets make the playoffs.
I can't do that.
They were in.
If
game.
Rodgers is their quarterback, the Jets make the playoffs.
Remind me, was their defense any good last year?
Yes.
They were
young.
They were a playoff team last year if they had a quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, if Mike White
Even
actually
if Mike White
hurt.
didn't get hurt, they're a playoff team. It didn't even.
So
It smells like crab cakes in here.
Yeah.
You know what? New York's they're due.
Yeah.
They're due.
They are due.
It's a tough division, though. I mean, you can speak to that.
Yeah. With Miami being better.
Like, are the Dolphins going to get significantly worse?
No. Buffalo's.
There's Buffalo.
loaded.
I mean, and the Patriots are going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not. Like, they might suck.
Some of us love it.
Right. But, I mean, it's a tough division.
It is. Arguably, maybe the most top to bottom, most balanced outside of
NFC East, obviously, from last year.
It's just it's a thing for me with Rodgers. Rodgers hasn't played well. I mean, since 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm a 50-50
3
guy on
years
there.
ago.
No.
He's going to the AFC, so it's not just the division.
Yeah.
You've got the rest of the AFC. You got to deal with some issues.
Yeah.
And then he's got the media that's going to be even more so than Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rodgers is on the decline. He's just not that dude. Just like Tommy the last couple of years. Just there is something that you can see in them that is not that spark.
I don't think Aaron takes care of his body the way Tom does.
Oh, why he does? I mean, you think?
I don't know. I think I think this is going to be a surprising year. I'm not ready to count.
Well, let's go back to Brett.
Yeah.
Brett goes to Minnesota, played unbelievable. Brett goes to
Went to the Jets.
and played really well.
Took him to the AFC.
Talk about a guy. I mean, he obviously went to rehab, but another guy that didn't take great. I mean, his body was way more beat up at that age than Aaron's was.
Yeah. And they got running backs, they got receivers, they got a defense. Like
I think
sets up well.
Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are. It's kind of a coincidence a little bit.
No doubt.
It is.
Lamar.
Lamar's
coming back off injury, just gets paid.
Man, boy, he swindled them too. Got receivers he wanted.
So you got Deshaun Watson playing a full year in Cleveland. You've got the Steelers, who got significantly better in the draft and get a year older, and they were a very young team.
You got Rudolph Pickett.
They've got their quarterback. And then who's the last team in that division? Bengals. Who have just proven now the last couple of years that they're going to be right there.
They're going to be there.
So Lamar first of all worth the money, and second of all, can they finish top 2 in that division?
I don't know. That division is wide open and stacked. I personally cannot pay a running quarterback that much money. I cannot do it because they can get hurt doing anything. And he hasn't proven to be able to throw the ball. Like, he can. But they don't dedicate it to just doing that. They still use him to run, and that's...
Well, that's when their offense is the most effective.
It really is, but the problem is that's the history. It's not longevity is not there for that.
I agree.
There's not one quarterback, the running quarterback, that has survived.
No. And then Jalen.
You have to pay him.
No.
You can't. You pay him now. In, 3 or 4 years, he's going to be middle-tiered from a pay perspective, and you got him locked up.
His body's a little more apt to handle it, but yet every time you run, you're putting yourself at risk for injury. But
he doesn't.
I mean, when a dude squats 600 pounds,
he doesn't run that often.
No,
he's
kind of
much smarter about picking and choosing. But
not to mention, they could just quarterback sneak for half the game and win. So, honestly, and not get touched.
Yeah. And the amount of times they can go for it on 4th down, the percentage of
have they decided that scrum is illegal yet?
No,
I'm waiting on that.
That went through the NFL rules this year. Did not even get brought up as a rule change.
Wow.
Because that was do you know what a weapon that is for their offense?
It's unstoppable.
Okay, tell me why.
And now more teams will do it this year, right?
They
have to. You have to copycat that, right?
Yeah.
If you can.
I don't
copycat league.
You think the Chiefs are going to put Mahomes in there after what's happened?
No, because he got hurt in a sneak anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. Every team is looking at their. But you can't tell me
you have
that's the safest way to do it.
Well, also, but the way that when Mahomes got hurt on their sneak, they didn't wedge it like that. If you wedge it like that, the quarterback's not getting touched.
I mean, you have to teach it. Yeah. And I think there's just teams it's just professional sports and sports in general. Teams are hard-headed. They don't want to make the change that's super obvious sometimes. And it's yes, you can teach that for 3 yards every time. But if you're not willing to change that, then no, teams won't do it.
And I'm still defensively trying to figure out how you really stop that. You have to submarine your other guys. You have to slant everyone else.
You have to make yourself so vulnerable.
And backers have to fly over the top.
Well, it's vulnerable, but you'd have to change personnel groups.
Right.
And now when you change personnel groups, then you run play action or jump pass or anything like that.
That's what I mean.
We talk about risk reward with offense. Now you're flipping the script, and it's risk reward defense.
Mm-hmm.
And when did we ever think we would say that?
Right.
I think the only thing you can really do is go bare tight. Have your backers.
Buddy Ryan.
There's no one behind your D line. You have to attack it from there and then pinch on the sides.
Right.
And hope he doesn't break it, and hope your safety back there by himself doesn't have anyone left. That. What else could you do?
That's not something you want to do on defense, though. Is hope.
How do you stop that? No one has.
I know, but if we're sitting in the film room, though, we're not hoping. We're just
coming up with strategic.
No, you're gonna say, okay, we're gonna pinch, we're gonna get low, we're gonna try our ass off, but no one's proven that to stop it yet.
What was the yardage when they ran that play? Was it 2 or 3?
They can run it from 2 or 3.
Yeah, they can. I don't think they don't.
Yeah.
There was actually a couple times late in the regular season against the Cowboys when they lost that game that. I don't know why they weren't sneaking. They didn't. That game ultimately didn't matter.
They also didn't. They didn't.
Most quarterbacks don't squat 600 either.
Correct.
His leg drives.
The way that he runs that is second to none.
And we talked about it last year. Surprisingly, they didn't run it as often as they should have.
Yeah.
You could call that on almost every 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You're getting
you call it on first down, you probably get 5 because they're expecting.
You might get 20.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
All right. So quarterback talk. Who else?
Those are the 3 that I had written down. Anybody else that you guys wanted to talk about? Do you think Deshaun Watson takes a step in the right direction this year, or is he just a lost cause?
Is everything behind him as far as legality stuff? That's gonna loom. You can
still
say,
out there.
You can say how mentally strong you are, but that's gonna sit there.
Yeah. He's actually gonna play football though with the team for
a year,
a full off season. Yeah. Well, almost a full year from the time that
correct.
Deshaun Watson, I love his game. Yeah. I really do.
See, I never liked his game.
You didn't?
See, I loved him at Clemson. I know you loved him at Clemson because Zane's a big
my son's a big Clemson fan. He's a diehard Hawkeye. Let's get it straight.
Oh, I get
Clemson's number 2. So I've watched a lot of Clemson football lately.
Yeah. I've always been a fan. On the field. So
tough, gritty leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. Yeah, if you can recover from that or not. So,
I mean,
I'm not getting into the Dak conversation tonight. So we can save that for closer to the season because we just don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
I'm pretty sure we can outvote you on that.
I mean, you guys.
Stoy, I thought that was in your original email of the script tonight.
So
I don't know where that got vetoed.
Let's talk about Dak.
I mean, obviously Cole has
I
seniority
would have
on the
loved
show.
if we would have drafted Hendon Hooker. Let's put it that way.
Let's talk about Dak. What's there to talk about?
No, I mean Dak's Dak.
Dak is Dak.
Kirk is Kirk, and Dak is Dak. So,
oh Lord,
they define love-hate relationships, don't they?
should we take a quick break and maybe cool down about 10 degrees, and then come back and talk golf?
we absolutely can.
All right,
We absolutely can. I would put the commercial up, but I haven't got there yet, folks.
All right.
I'm also going to do that with our intro. Is just do a intro video.
gotcha.
So we don't have to. You're not wrong. It is toasty. I think I'm going to switch that out for a fan, but I got to make sure it's quiet.
Oh yeah. Which easier said than done.
Taking a little break. Cool off.
Try to air out my swamp. So this next,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow golf the way you do, so it might be
no, that's all right.
Little.
That's even better.
out of
It's
it.
actually better. It actually probably will work out.
Yeah, you'll probably win because we're rarely right. So
Well, he does much
Why do you think
I mean, I love golf.
why do you
but
think I celebrated so much at the beginning? Because
Yeah.
I don't often pick the. We'll cover this one because it's an elevated event this weekend too. So
Oh, and also if you wanted
Well,
to bring,
Hollow.
if you wanted to bring anything up before we end with golf, any things you want to talk about, bring in.
I don't follow
some
baseball,
basketball.
but I just thought
You can bring in some basketball. We don't talk about basketball.
he doesn't
No.
really Ingle.
March Madness is the only thing that we
Yeah,
talk about.
March Madness. I don't follow the NBA at all though,
True, I guess.
and college
You don't-
basketball is just such a long season that it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to like
You
pinpoint.
got how often you do this?
once a week.
Once a week.
Yep.
So we cover, March Madness is about it for basketball.
You're actually like basically after the draft. There's a couple good tournaments, and then we get into this lull, like June-ish, July-ish. I'm gone for 2 weeks in June anyway, but like June, July is usually when we do like we'll sit down and go through, okay, what are we going to do for the next season?
Yeah.
And figure that out. Because there's not much.
I know.
Specifically July.
It's kind of a lull.
And we'll probably, end up taking a couple weeks off because of it.
Yeah.
But and figure out what we want to do. Switch up the whatever.
I didn't know. How's the pitch thing going with the MLB? Are people in favor, liking it? Is it helping?
I haven't heard much. I know that the games are significantly quicker. Like it's shaving like significant minutes off of.
Don't be
games.
crinkling that by the mic. Here, I'll shut your mic off.
Because NFL has just been dominating.
Yeah. I've watched. They're faster games, which is good.
Are you a baseball guy?
Yeah, Braves guy.
Yeah.
And they're faster, which is nice.
I might have to watch baseball again.
It actually what was I doing? I was watching the game the other day, and usually like someone will swing, and you're like, oh, cool, I got time to drink, come back,
go make the kids some popcorn.
They're 2 batters later, and I'm like, oh
shit,
we're in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, so it has made the game a little speeder.
That helps. I think we kind of hit on a little bit like the youth infusion of. You got Vlad Guerrero Jr., you got Tatis Jr., you got Bichette, you got, there's 3 or 4 other ones even. Just guys that were pretty iconic back when we were watching, and all of their kids are successful coming through. Obviously, Harper went in the World Series last year. I think baseball's taking a lot of steps in the right direction. Ohtani is a stud.
Yeah.
Him and Trout on the same team and they can't win. That's just a waste of talent.
Ohtani can't throw every day and Trout doesn't pitch, so
but they hit bombs anyways. Like regardless, they're hitting bombs.
I'm disagreeing.
No, baseball's making a comeback. I believe so, and which is good. It needed to happen.
They didn't have a choice.
They did. It was dying.
Right. I can honestly say in the last 10 years, I haven't watched 10 innings of a World Series.
No.
And I'm a sports guy. Not a baseball guy, but I'm a sports guy.
Right.
I love competition. I haven't even watched I just don't care.
I think the thing that it's somewhat traditionalist, but like the thing that turns me away from baseball more than anything now is just the lack of expectation for a starting pitcher to do anything but throw like 4 to 5 innings.
Yeah.
It's just like we just don't even care at this point. Like we're throwing 4 dudes in the back end of the bullpen. Like when the game starts is our mindset. And it's like, man, you're giving that guy the ball. Like that dude used to be like.
He was a grinder.
You had to come out and like it didn't matter if you were an ace in the MLB. There were very few managers that were walking out there and taking that baseball away from some guy.
Like you're going 7.
Like,
and even when they knew
but they weren't giving the baseball away.
Right.
Like now they're like, oh yeah, my hamstring got tight.
Right. My fingernails clipped wrong.
Right. Like, I think that's my biggest.
When Bobby Cox used to come out and pull Smoltz and those guys,
and they would
they wouldn't even. They would not like.
And they would just
and they would just fist up, like basically, like
Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, all the guys on the Braves, like Andy Pettit.
But they all got. The game has gotten soft in every sport.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I don't disagree that it's gotten soft, but it's gotten so specialized. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but they have dudes that are coming in throwing sidearm 98, coming in throwing right hand.
Let's not get into the miles per hour because they changed the way that they're.
I don't disagree. Okay. It's
are we on air?
Entertainment.
Oh yeah,
we're always live.
Entertainment factor. These are the best cut-ups.
Yeah,
they usually are.
But yeah, I think that's what, for me personally, like that's what I've lost in the game is just like, all right, Pedro.
Yeah.
Like, dude's just gonna go out and he's gonna find a way to get 8 or 9.
Yeah, and he's not gonna only bring his stuff. He's gonna outwill you.
Right.
He's gonna out.
Scherzer's about the only guy this day in age. Like, there's a handful of other ones. Don't get me wrong, but like, that is just gonna go bulldog you.
Yeah.
And like that's what like a starting pitcher mentality used to have to be, and now it's just like, man, I gotta have the stuff to get through 5.
Right.
And then I'll throw 100 pitches to do it. I mean, it's a whole shift in the game,
it is.
but
It is.
I think it just takes some of that mentality of like the hitter versus pitcher out of it, and it's just a lot more analytics these days than the mano a mano stuff.
You're right.
Okay, I've talked about baseball for 5 minutes.
You're good
so-
now.
Did it?
Yeah,
Filled it.
I didn't take my ADD pill today, so let's rock on.
He brought it on himself. You know, you mentioned the pitch
I know.
clock. so
I brought
his pitch clock
the
is
pitch
up.
clock. The pitch clock is up. The red light is on.
So we're gonna move on to the wonderfully fast-paced game of golf, just for you.
Well, it's actually a game I love. But
So we're gonna make you play this week, just for fun. But we'll explain kind of what we do each week with
Okay.
golf. So we do, as you can see here on screen, we do a one and done pick, which is a side pool that we're in. An outright winner, which
you
is
guys on FanDuel?
yeah, you can
We pull them both up
and just we check odds just to give.
Yeah.
So let let everyone know like what's going to be out there. Be careful back there. Do not mess anything up.
And
Get on
then
this side, please.
our dark horse, or better known on our show as the Black Stallion, is we pick who our favorite that is 50 or 1 or better / worse odds, depending on how you want to look at it. An outside chance to win that we would take. We pick a top 40 and then a player to fade, and your player to fade has to be someone that is in the top 10 that you think is going to fade the furthest from the top 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we'll help you along with it, but
where
we
am
have
I going here? Where are you guys at?
so it'll be just on the very front page of FanDuel. You go to Wells Fargo Championship.
Yep, got it.
So
I'll help you. I usually look up the FanDuel so I can.
are you on?
help you.
You're both on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I've got DraftKings up. So like my, actually we'll intro it here real quick.
Yeah.
So this week is newer on tour this year. We have the elevated events. So this is kind of combating Live, which has had actually some pretty good success.
They have recently.
So that's honestly it's good for the game of golf. Getting everyone together at the Masters and seeing that guys actually don't hate each other and they still play practice rounds together and stuff like that was just refreshing. So I think that actually gave Liv a little bit of a breath of fresh air. And then the tours had good tournaments as well. And we move into the Wells Fargo Championship, an elevated event. And all that means is there's bigger pot available and more of the best players in the world are going to be at the event.
Absolutely.
This one is at Quail Hollow in North Carolina. So a very prestigious course and one that will challenge the players. It's one that's going to favor the long hitters. The rough is not very penalizing here, but putting is a premium. A little bit different because the greens are so large here. There will be a lot of green in regulations, but it's a matter of, can you, bogey avoidance and 3-putt avoidance, and then, how far can you hit it, and then go score on those par 5s. And then just last year, Homa won, I believe, at 8 under, or the last time.
8 under won it?
Last time the Wells Fargo Championship was here.
Was that close?
Is that because it's such a long
yeah, and it's just, there's definitely penalizing areas, and the course is just long in general. So, and like I said, the greens
big greens.
Bigs are green. They're undulating green. So, it's just, you've got to put the ball in the right spot. Definitely going to be some 3-putts. I think Fitzpatrick finished second last time he was here at 6 under. This was also where the match play was held. So there's definitely been some success with guys in the match play event. It's not what President's Cup, excuse me.
But yeah, you're good.
Was here last year in 2022. So there's some guys that have had some recent history on the course that played well in that. Honestly, I don't really put too much stock in that. Spieth was undefeated in match play here. Ultimately, he just beat his guy head to head. You're playing the course on Thursday to Sunday, so you can do with that what you want. I think the overall history, there's been plenty of tournaments played here, is definitely going to play a bigger role. But as we look at the field, I've got DraftKings pulled up here. I'll give you my top 5. It looks like McElroy's going out at plus 700. Cantlay at 1,200, Finau fresh off a victory at 1,400, Schauffele at 1,600, and then I've got 3 guys at plus 1,800, Hovland, Spieth, and Young.
Okay. So we got Rory at 700, Cantley at 13, Xander and Finau at 17, and then Spieth at 19, and then we've got 2 ties, Young and Hovland. So
it looks like you got a little bit better value actually
Yeah.
Through FanDuel this week, which that's why we check each week. It seems like DraftKings a little bit more of the time when it comes to golf, but this week seems to be FanDuel with a little bit better value at the top of the board at least. Also big names at 2,200 on DraftKings. I've got Fitzpatrick, Thomas, and Morikawa kind of rounding out that field.
They're at 24.
They're at 22 on DraftKings. So again, a little bit of value there. If you like an outright
Days
winner.
at 29.
Yeah.
So he's at 25 on here.
Yeah.
Homa's at 28, a defending champion.
29.
Fowler's at 41 on.
Yep.
There's,
So you're good. I mean, I think there's a lot of good value. This is going to be I think it's going to be a great tournament.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a great course because there's not a lot of worry about the rough here. So, I mean, these guys are already swinging, trying to hit as far as they can. This is a course that just allows for that to be more wide open. So you're just going to see guys just get
killing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
weather report.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I got it. So we've got Friday, 72.
Are you just
cloudy?
You skipping Thursday?
Yeah, because it's perfect weather.
Oh, yeah,
like
perfect.
it's perfect, 72, sunny, no wind. So Friday is cloudy, a little humidity in there,
but no wind.
Saturday is where it's going to get not good. It's supposed to be rainy, high of 66,
Okay.
with some with some wind, and that's basically periodically throughout the day. And then you end up with Sunday being beautiful with 76, just cloudy and heavy.
So moving day is going to be the big day.
So Sunday,
who can hang in?
is the wind limited on Sunday?
Yep, 6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Wind's actually not crazy all week. Just the rain and
Saturday,
humidity and how heavy the air is going to be.
It's gonna, and then again that will have an effect on putting, just because you're gonna have changing conditions from that perspective. But the wind is definitely, I think, the biggest thing in golf. I mean, as we can probably attest to as amateurs, the wind's the one that messes with you most mentally.
My game doesn't.
It's not affected by any of it.
No, because
it's like playing on a mini golf course. It's just that
it's
confident.
230 yards every time I hit the ball
It's right
off
out
the
there.
with that old
Pitching
3-wood.
wedge or 3-wood.
Yeah.
It goes 230.
Great.
But do we want to start top down or?
Yeah, might as well go
Yeah.
top down. Make it easy on old Drew over here.
So I'll start just because I've put my one and done pick in. It is riding a guy who has played extremely good golf this year, been consistent, kind of an old timer on the course these days, and we've talked a lot about him, but maybe had him in our picks as we've gone a little bit through the year. But I'm going to ride Jason Day.
J-Day.
To victory. He's had a little bit of success here over the years and played well at Quail Hollow. But, I think he finds a way to get it done.
Hey, can't be mad about it.
Weather's going to be good. He seems seemingly healthy, and I like his number at the 2,900.
Absolutely. I can't be mad at it. I already have Homa, which I like this year going back-to-backs with people who've played well here. I'm going to snipe in here on my one and done and go with Fitzpatrick for basically the same exact situation.
Huh?
Plays well here. And I don't have very many spots to put him the rest of the year. Assuming I didn't use them, which I don't think I did. I will look.
You're on the clock.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ricky Fowler.
Look at you.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Another guy that's been playing well. Day and Fowler both been playing consistent all year.
Having them back is fantastic.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great Sunday little showdown there.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So outright winner. This is essentially just gives you another chance to pick a guy that you think is going to win. So you can double up if you'd like, or you can go down the board and try to find some more value. Just whatever whatever you're feeling.
I'm going to go with Justin Thomas.
He's due.
Yeah, he's been very dry lately. Odds would say he's due to break out.
That's 2,400.
Yeah. I think which way am I going to go there? You know who you want?
No, not yet.
All right. I think
between a couple
I think
guys.
that I'm actually going to drop down a little bit and hope that the rain maybe has a little more impact on Saturday than possibly what's forecasted. I really like your Fitzpatrick pick, but I'm going to Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh,
okay.
And honestly, no, let's shy away from that, because if he's at 55, then I got to take him as my black star.
absolutely.
So
That's what I was like,
too good. That's just feels like amazing value. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead there, but
No, you're good.
at 5,500,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
man.
It's like that.
So let's slide in with Sahith.
Sahith Theegala.
He's also one of my
Like him.
my new favorite guys. He reminds me a lot of Finau. They have a lot of similar mannerisms. Also a great guy around the tour. And he's got him and Dan Rappaport actually have he's working with him. Like Rappaport walks around and caddies for him, and they just do, and it's coming out on Netflix, I think tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Love Dan Rappaport on Twitter. Love what he's doing with Barstool and the guys there. So, but yeah, we'll sneak a little Sahith in there. Cam Young.
I'm just gonna go with a bomber.
Yeah, it's a long ways. That's for damn sure.
It. You'll learn that I'm more of a gut guy. I just look at it and say, "Does that feel good?" And I go with it.
Yeah,
and it it works out overall standings. I mean, look at our points. So
Yeah.
he does all this research. Yeah, he wins more money, but I mean, come on, let's be real.
if only I had that money.
Yeah.
If we had that money, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Yes.
We would be somewhere else. We'd be doing the same thing, just
Right.
not
Just in a different
here.
place
In a
with
different
people.
environment.
Probably just got done playing 36.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I snuck in with my Black Stallion
gee
already,
whiz.
so
Yeah. Guess
I'll
we'll
leave it to you guys to try to find your. I mean, there's a lot of value out there.
Okay, give
guys.
me
There's a ton of value.
what's the Black Stallion? What does that mean?
That's so
Plus
it's
5,000.
Yep, yeah. So plus 5,000 or better odds to win.
Mm-hmm.
So just basically looking for a little bit longer shot. To
Okay.
Win. Yep.
All right.
I just can't believe some of the names here.
there's so
I
many.
got mine.
All right.
Let's do
Adam Scott.
What's he at?
1,200.
12,000? You mean?
12,000.
Yeah, that's 12,000, bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll be winning some money.
Adam Scott. I don't even see him on my. What is he on page 6 or 7?
He's down.
Yeah, he's plus 10,000 on mine. So again, plus
12,000.
12,000. Like you're getting even. And that is a.
Oh, man, you got Lowry, Bradley.
How is
Connors.
Scott? Has he just had terrible course history here? Like, there's
He
no
has to
way
be.
he should be
He's
plus
a
12,000.
he's a darn good golfer.
Yeah,
He's
and
been
he's
playing
playing well
well.
this year.
Yeah.
Playing really well. Oh, man.
Well,
4 I would pick.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not a extreme long ball hitter though, is he?
nobody. I
Doesn't
mean,
need
he's
to be.
He's good around the green.
average.
Average.
But average now is perfectly fine. Like he's not
Yeah.
getting bombed by.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't picked him this year. Give me good old Shane.
Shane Lowry.
Lowry. All right. Top 40.
Just some great value. Just a guy that sticks out to me who's been playing really good golf is Keith Mitchell at 6,500.
Mm-hmm.
Was just a guy that caught my eye. He hits the ball a long ways, but he's
I like him
he's
too.
been contention
Yeah.
in every golf tournament.
He was one of the ones I had to choose between.
So that was just another guy that popped out to me as being up there. He's probably even more on FanDuel if he was 6,500 on DraftKings.
FanDuel doesn't have a top 40. We only have a top 20.
I've got a top 40.
That's good. We're using it then.
So top 40, the rules we put on this, Drew, are they just have to be plus 100.
Okay.
So my top, I'll give you a top handful, but Siwoo Kim, Chris Kirk, Patrick Rogers, Emiliano Grillo, Taylor Montgomery, Kurt Kitayama, Cam Davis, Adam Scott's plus 120 for a top 40.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I might just stop
What is
you
going
right
on
there.
with him?
I will take Patrick Rogers at plus 105. I think he's a dark horse to sneak in and maybe a top 10, top 5 even. So I will gladly take him in the top 40 at plus 105. Your boy Bo is at plus 130.
Bo? You know what?
Big
Just
baby
give me-
Bo
give me
Hostler.
Bo, we've had a month off. Give me Hostler. What is he? Plus 130?
Yep.
You've got who? 105?
Patrick Rogers. Aaron's other brother.
Aaron's other brother.
Wait, the family doesn't talk to?
Right. Drew, anybody jump off the page there when I was talking?
There you go.
Gosh, man.
All your plus 100s or more.
Seamus Power, I like that one. Diamond. Davis Riley, fresh off of his.
Take McCarthy.
Well, Denny McCarthy, plus
Denny
120.
McCarthy.
All right. Last, but certainly not least. Player to fade. So this player is a current top 10 projection and will finish the furthest from their projected position. I actually have 3, 6, 9, 10. Oh, all right. Oh, do I want to do it? Am I really doing this? Or am I going to stay away?
Basically that entire list. What's up?
I'm going to go Xander.
Ooh. That's a bad idea. Every time I go Xander, bites me.
He's
Wow.
fourth on mine. I don't know.
It's third. T3. So you will want
It's all right.
a 4.
What the heck do I have to lose tonight? Huh?
Shitty shot.
Shitty shot.
Next week, we will find you.
Maybe, yeah. We will find you.
Oh,
Hunt you down
man.
and gut you like a fish.
I just don't know if I'm ready for JT to do anything.
Well, and you can't go against our guy Tony. Back-to-backs are, we know this,
Yeah, I
extremely
mean,
rare.
And he's long and like this.
But
this
you just can't do it.
This course fits him. Spieth played well here. I don't want to go against him.
Where am I jump in there here? I'm going with M. He is 1, 2.
He's right on the fringe for me.
He's a T6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's not that.
Yeah, T3, 4.
No, he's
Uh-huh.
going to want Schauffele at third because you want it to be you want to be able to fade further. So you want him to be higher. Just like you want him sixth and not 10th like he is on mine.
Correct.
What's JT on yours? 7 on mine.
T6.
Yeah, I'll take JT against.
Oh.
Damn it!
Yes. Yes. All right. So why am I so excited? Because when you fade a player,
Okay.
and someone has said player an outright or one and done, it's a double. Automatic double.
Okay.
Yep. Automatic double, and I'm so excited about it.
That's
So
why I was reluctant, but
yes, but hey, you had to pull the trigger.
it was either him or Rory.
Yep.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
for
So-
me, and I think
Double shot there. I cannot wait.
Rory plays so well here. He's already won here 3
Yeah.
times. I just can't.
Any side bets? We got any side bets this week?
Any side bets after I put a double on my player to fade?
Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so happy. See, you
I
come
mean-
on, great things happen for me. I mean, for the squad, the
The
pod.
top 2 guys, allegedly, but also in the world, are not playing this week. Does that take anything away from this tournament for you guys?
No, I mean, Rom needed a break.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he chose to play in Mexico because
He played three weeks in a row.
right.
He needed a break. I don't.
Yeah.
So for me, like him playing would have been a non-factor because I don't think he would have played well.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter.
I just don't know that guy's capable of not.
No, I know, but he needs for the rest of the season. We need Ron to rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big picture.
Scheffler. I don't know why he's not playing.
I mean, you have to play 6 out of the 8. I think it's 6 out of the 8 elevated events.
We know Rory was playing.
So like, Rory didn't
Regardless.
play the last one. Got fined big money for it.
So my
because
question. Okay, let's
he'd
back
already
up.
Missed one.
You know this rule.
No.
If you withdraw because of an injury, does it count?
I mean, no.
Are you sure?
Like I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
I mean,
So
you
when
can't-
we
you're not
just
gonna
see
start
withdraw,
penalizing guys mental.
since we saw McElroy withdraw, we never knew the pure reason.
Right. I mean, he
Clearly, we assumed.
Did you see the interview today?
No.
So he withdrew for what he called personal reasons, and then what he also called mental health reasons.
So
Not playing well at the Masters after dealing with and being the mouthpiece for the PGA this year.
Big
like,
deal.
Just, I mean, it just wore on a dude.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, he had to accept a role as the only person who would really take any type of legitimate questions from reporters about the PGA versus Live stuff, because the commissioner of the PGA Tour is a douche.
Yeah.
And just won't stand in front of his product. I don't like Greg Norman, but at least the dude will answer questions. So Rory was doing all of that, transitioning into Tigers League stuff, and then trying to win a golf tournament, which in his mind, his game fits Augusta so well, and he just can't figure it out.
It does.
And so, like, to probably know that he, in his whatever, call it 12 practice rounds leading up to Augusta, probably shot in the 60s, dare I say, every time.
Yeah.
To come out and do what he did had to be just so disgustingly disappointing to him that, like, I get it. And I don't know what he got fined.
$3 million.
$3 million. Like, the dude's worth.
No, I mean,
hundreds of
clearly
millions.
for him,
That was
it's not a big deal. But like,
fine and a slap on the wrist. Like,
Yeah.
but like, to the point I'm getting with, clearly that's a mental health thing.
mm-hmm.
Yes, he played shitty and all of that, but you're gonna find a dude for that.
I mean, they're on that. I mean, the rules are the rules.
But I'm saying though, that's technically a withdrawal for some type of injury. So now we're downplaying mental health.
I mean,
PGA,
but
Are
you can't withdraw at the point that he did, not give that reason at the time.
correct. I
And
agree
he didn't.
there. No, he didn't. I
And
agree.
he also did not
But-
want to be on the interview list for the Wells Fargo Championship. He got side interviews even to get that information.
But should you have to disclose that? Hey, I'm going through some mental stuff. Doesn't
But I
that
mean,
make it worse?
it's just such a fine line.
It is. It's a very slippery slope.
I think
It really is.
when we're talking this kind of money, then the fine line raises, right? So when nobody should undervalue mental health, but when you're in the public eye and we're talking this kind of money, then people are gonna
You got to
question
show
everything.
up.
Yeah,
You got to show up.
Yeah. I
because
mean,
the mental grind is part of greatness.
yeah,
It is.
it is.
I mean, fair or unfair, like
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
nobody's
Yeah,
ever
no,
been great
no,
who was weak-minded.
no,
I'm sorry, like that's just
no.
a fact of life. Like,
Yeah.
so if you wanted to call it a
Yeah.
mental
So-
rest, that's fine, but you got to take it for what it is. then.
Yeah.
And
Get
you're
your
gonna-
$3 million.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't balk at the $3 million, by the way.
Right.
Like, we
Like
didn't
this
hear
isn't
that
an
from this guy.
Antonio Brown.
A guy going to the
breakdown on
factory
television.
saying I'm is making $32 an hour on the factory line and has some mental health stuff and his days of missed work are up. He's getting docked.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
You're not going to.
sometimes you just got to show up, or you got to accept the consequences. I don't think it's devaluing mental health because I'm a huge mental health advocate, but it is what it is. So.
Oh, yeah, nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong there.
I need to. Drew, do you know who Annie Agar is?
I don't.
We have to introduce Drew to Annie.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think I put an Annie video in there for her. I think pre-draft day. This will. Do you follow Paige Sporanic on Twitter?
No.
You would definitely know if you did. I don't think I put anything.
Is she?
Put Annie in here.
So this is Annie Agar. She
Okay,
does
everybody, it is draft.
Chris Hassel type of spoof videos.
Yeah.
So this is her pre-draft video, and
Okay.
you just have to listen and enjoy the shots as they go back and forth.
Yeah.
And she's basically reenacting herself as commissioner and different teams
Just let play
and
out, let
or
her play out.
players.
All right, let
And
me.
she,
yeah.
and she does
You'll
this
see.
weekly during the season for sure.
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
great.
So
this is great.
she's one of
See,
our
guys, I
favorites.
have a job where I can't just be on Twitter all day. Like
Hey,
you guys.
I mean,
Or do you?
Oh, I do.
Okay. What do you do at night then?
What?
What do you do at night?
that's
I
That's
drive
just
an
a-
Uber service.
it's just a question we don't ask Drew.
Yeah.
we don't ask
Yeah.
Drew. All right. 2.5 minutes.
Did you see what his mug had in it? It wasn't ice water.
It was not.
Okay, everybody, it is draft week. I just want to give a quick shout out to Aaron Rodgers. Thank you for not ruining our draft completely this year. You just ruined the past 2 months. So I just want to put the word out there that we're back. Were you ever here? Whatever, we're winning a Super Bowl, okay? This is the most complete team he's ever played with. We have Garrett. I give him a year in New York, then he retires. He has to stop in Minnesota first. You guys are all screwed. Zach might talk to Aaron Rodgers' mom before he does. Okay, we're here to talk about the draft, all right? So just what? What do you want? I just want to say we fleeced them, right? Because we wanted that first rounder. We got it. Well, it's conditional. Your quarterback's conditional. Look, he's 90% retired and he's probably underground somewhere right now. Also, good luck getting him to do anything in the offseason. Actually, he's here right now. He's what? I'm going to make this dude's life hell every day in practice. You're going to make him watch you try to throw a screen pass? All right, will you get the blue check mark Josh Rosen out of here, please? There is a draft happening this week, people. Do we not care? We are winning the North. You want to bet on that? Sorry, I'm late. Did I miss roasting Aaron Rodgers yet? Please tell me I didn't. Can we just talk about the draft, please? All right, there are a lot of question marks going into this year's draft. We've moved around quarterbacks so much, I'm starting to feel like the 49ers. Carolina, you are now on the clock. If there's one thing we do every year, it is absolutely nail our first round pick. Just make the pick. Okay, Bryce Young or Will Levis. Oh, dear Lord. Can somebody just get CJ in here, please? He might not show up today. Great, well, don't tell Brady Quinn that. Shocking. Quarterbacks from Ohio State usually work out so well in the NFL. Oh, but ones from Alabama, Florida, and Kentucky do. Tim Tebow won a playoff game once. Name one good quarterback. Justin, I said quarterback. The S2 test, how accurate is it? Anthony Richardson is more accurate than the S2 test. Okay, good. We were a little worried about decision making. Why would you be worried about decision making? You hired Josh McDaniels. CJ's right here. What are you guys talking about? This is Arizona. If Will Anderson is still available, Brad's interested in a trade. Great idea, considering Arizona will probably have a top 5 pick next year, too. Between Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, trying to figure out who has the higher ceiling. Well, that's great, because Anthony Richardson hit the ceiling, so it was supposed to be a slant route. But Will Levis can throw the ball 65 yards from his knees, which is great, because when he's down by contact, he can still throw the ball. That's helpful. Jamarcus Russell threw 70 yards from his knees. In the league, he threw to the other team. Okay, does anybody actually want to get through this draft? You should have traded up for the #1 overall. You could have traded Kyle Pitts or Drake London. You don't even use them. How would we get Michael Pruitt open? We're taking Bijan Robinson. It's not even your pick yet. You know, we had Zay Flowers out for a visit. That's got to be tough to work out with Mahomes and then catch passes from Mac Jones all year. Got to be tough for anyone to catch passes from Mac Jones all year. Well, joke's on you. We're not even taking Zay Flowers. We're going to trade down in the first round and take some run blocking offensive tackles. Okay, that's fine. Lastly, for the 7th straight draft, the Rams do not have a first-round pick. Coincidentally, they also do not have a kicker, punter, or long snapper. He can't hear you. That's a wrap, everyone. Oh, CJ, where have you been? Sorry, I'm late. I just had my birthday party, and all of my teammates showed up.
She's
She's a gem.
a gem and gets at it, which is great. No holds bar.
She's also a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So you'll some
My
of us
respect
might not
level
realize that.
just slid a little.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does something like that every week during the NFL season to like
Okay.
recap weekly
Yeah.
stuff that goes on. So she's one that we usually will play on a weekly basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was highly enjoyable when I first saw that before they came out, like a day or two before the draft. So
Always good. Anything else you want to leave us on?
No, guys, just thanks for having me on tonight, and this was a lot of fun, and maybe we can bring some more college or high school stuff. But
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Absolutely. Did you tell them about Coach's Corner at all? That segment we have?
no,
I
I didn't know.
We're not going to do that today,
right.
but for our listeners as well, just get a refresher. Coach's Corner is usually when we'll bring up, a coach's perspective, whether that we're breaking down film,
Yeah.
high school, college, doesn't matter, or we're going through rules, regs, things that are happening.
I might be interested in that.
That one's a fun one. We really want to get that, and then we also interview athletes.
Oh,
College,
awesome. Yeah.
high school, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. We're really trying to reach out to that, and then kind of our bigger picture thing, and we're nowhere close to it. Be doing some NIL stuff and
Nice.
really
Yeah.
pushing and helping like athletes be recruited.
Yeah.
Right, because how we had to go through recruiting is nowhere
Yeah.
near what it is
No.
now.
Yeah.
But it's still being loud and getting your face
Yeah.
out there.
Awesome.
So, without further ado, we're going to do something a little different with the cut-ups. If you guys are listening at this point, I'm going to cut them into segments that actually got us better downloads. However, in the last week, we've gotten over 100 downloads.
People missed us.
We haven't done anything for a month.
Yeah.
So they've missed us. We'll get this one out. Stay tuned. We'll break those down. Now that we're a little later, we'll spread those out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, listen to us Tuesdays, 8-ish.
Yeah.
We'll call it.
We're at 8-ish right
8-ish.
now, and then we'll let you know. But
Yeah.
8-ish on Tuesdays.
We're a moving target.
Yeah.
We have these
We like
things
to be
called families that kind of
unpredictable.
run our schedules.
You know what? You find us.
Yeah.
And
Right.
You'll see it.
I mean, they did.
Just subscribe
Yeah.
and you'll find us.
Right.
It'll be fine.
Exactly.
It'll be fun. So,
Great to be back.
fantastic to be back.
Love the new space and
Needs a
look
fan.
forward to. Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We're work in progress.
Stoy's got a great setup.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll figure this thing out. So, Lincoln, you want to say anything? You got speaking to the mic? Say goodnight?
He's
No?
tired.
He's tired. You see those eyes?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.